He was my boyfriend when I was 15. I thought he loved me. He would rape me and touch me constantly. I didn't realize what was happening until the relationship was over.
When I was 14, I was raped after a volleyball game. I've been assaulted multiple times since middle school, but for some reason this was the most traumatic.
I was 14, they were 16. A month or so into the relationship, they began to touch me and force me into touching them.
A couple years ago, my now ex-boyfriend and I were about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. It happened in my basement. He would always beg for sex, but each time I told him no. This time, it was different.
Everything changed the day I realized I was being abused. Every facet of my personality has changed, along with my perception of love, trust, communication, relationships, and friendships.
I've trauma blocked most of it. All I know is that it happened in the locker room and I was praying for it to stop the whole time. I get very vivid flashbacks, I can feel it happening again, I relive it every day.
I repeatedly told them to stop and pushed myself away from them. They kept going. When they finally realized I was uncomfortable, they began to guilt trip me into feeling sorry for them and made themselves the victim.
He was scary and I was terrified. This time I tried to say something, but I couldn't move. I couldn't even talk. He got what he wanted and I was left feeling disgusted with myself. I was ashamed of my body and of allowing him to do such a thing to me.
I'll always crave the innocence I lost as a child and mourn for the little girl inside me who died. The abuse might be over, but every rape, every comment, every non-consensual touch lives in my mind every second.
Even after I begged him that I wanted to wait just a few more months until I was 16, it didn't matter. Therapy helped, but it didn't make everything better. I had constant nightmares about the assault for months. I tried to stay awake for as long as humanly possible until I just collapsed from exhaustion.
Later into the relationship, they sometimes didn't ask for consent before we began intercourse. Sometimes I would think to myself, this isn't okay, and I don't want to do this. But I didn't stop it. This is my biggest regret. I know I could have stopped it multiple times that it happened, but I never did.
It haunts my dreams. I see it everywhere. I went to residential treatment over the summer for about 6 months in total because I was extremely suicidal. While I was there, I did a lot of trauma work. I've been regaining memories since then. I still don't know who did it, but I'm terrified that they're still in my life.
I'm possessed by vivid flashbacks, and when I try to go to sleep, I see him on top of me. I died that day, not the day we started dating, but the day I broke up with him over a year later. I haven't been living since.
I wanted to be immediately healed. I want to be normal, but I take it one day at a time because that's all you can do. I know I'm getting better, and one day I know I'll be almost whole again. But until then, I take my time picking up and caring for each of my broken pieces.